Fenwick smiled. This was most interesting, amusing even. He had run the scenario through his mind 1,000 times. What would it be like when one of his targets eventually found their way to him? What would be said, and would he grant a wish? But this was much different from anything he had imagined. The young green-eyed boy had just requested the one wish he could not grant even if he wanted to. Fenwick knew the boy's father well, not personally, but he had been watching him with great interest for a millennia. But Garmadon was an Oni and not of this world, and Oni were well beyond his ability to affect with his quill and scrolls. He decided to play around with Lloyd before revealing his true intentions. You have family trouble and desire to fix it. That is a worthy wish. I know of family trouble well. I had a brother once. We ruled the kingdom as equals, but we had a falling out. Brothers seem to have that happen to them. I think you know well from your own family. You see, we didn't see eye to eye on the idea of free will. He was soft and felt people should be free to forge their own path, create their own destiny. But people are weak-minded and weak-willed. They need to be governed. There needs to be a master plan for them, or everything will descend into anarchy and chaos. The bigger picture is greater than that of the individual, and that is why I had to get rid of him. I banished him from our kingdom and bent his mind. He was my brother, and I loved him once. But Quanish was an idealistic fool, and he got what was coming to him, as will you, young Garmadon. Lloyd fully realized at that moment that the man before him was not a benign granter of wishes, but rather a petty and vengeful tyrant. He scanned the room. Clancy, Yana, Fenwick, and Flintlock would be nearby with his loaded musket. He was just about to make a move, but he hesitated as the sound of heavy footsteps rang through the room. Flintlock entered again, followed by the massive Dogshank, the two-faced doubloon, and Monkey Wretch, who leapt coyly between them. A happy voice rang out as Clancy entered the room. Master Lloyd, my friends, they're here. My wish has already come true. Lloyd cursed inside himself. Clancy had clearly not understood the seriousness of the situation, and beamed with joy and excitement. Lloyd abandoned his idea of attacking. It was too risky now, and innocents may get hurt. He turned his attention back to Fenwick. So, who are you? And how are you granting people's wishes? Fenwick was not in the mood to tell his life story. It was a long one, but then again, it was much more fun if Lloyd knew more about who he was and how hopeless his situation was. I am Fenwick, once ruler of the Cloud Kingdom. I was so for a millennia until you and your little band of meddling brats saw an end to it. You were there in body, but not in spirit. Your friends unleashed a beast upon me, and I had to flee. Fenwick ran as fast as he could. Moments before, he had been watching with glee as the magnificent creature Nimbus shook a Cloud Kingdom skiff with 4 screaming ninja in it. But then suddenly Nimbus shifted its attention and lunged at him. Even as he ran for his life, his head exploded with thoughts on what may have happened. He had made a deal with Moro and his destiny was secure. But now this happened. Nobu. He had only taken on the boy as his apprentice because he reminded him of his own brother when he was young. But Nobu had quickly shown himself to be more like Quanish and was advantageous. He thought that he had quenched that part in the boy, but now with the foul stench of Nimbus's breath chasing him, he realized that he had not. What transpired now was clearly the work of Nobu's hand. He had seemed concerned earlier when he had been introduced to Moro, Bancha, and Soul Archer. Fenwick cursed himself for not being more careful. Nimbus's giant claw swung at him and he narrowly dodged out of the way before he was struck. The force of the blow tripped up Nimbus, who fell over with a high-pitched squeal. Fenwick looked back. The creature had always been docile to him. He had made sure to have one of them add that part to his own destiny, but now it had clearly been altered. Nobu! Fenwick sped up and ran for the main library. If he could just get to his scroll and get someone to correct it, this would all be fine, and then he would discipline Nobu adequately, like he had his brother. Inside the library, scribes were hunched over their desks, working away at the Ninjagan Dissonance destinies as usual. They were unaware of the commotion which had happened outside. Fenwick caught his breath, corrected his posture, and started to walk calmly down the center aisle, scanning the impossibly tall shelves of destiny scrolls. Nobu was nowhere to be found, but at his desk, Fenwick found just what he wanted. His own destiny, altered by the brat's feeble hand. Fenwick glanced over to the shelves. Over the years, he had gathered a small collection of scrolls for people he had a certain fondness of. The people, a small handful of pirates who had been very amusing to toy around with 200 years ago, but then had gone missing under unfortunate circumstances, were now beyond his reach. But he knew of ways to bring them back. They might become useful to him given his new situation, so he grabbed their scrolls, and the way to bring them back was this one scroll which in large ornamented letters read Klaus. Fenwick grabbed the stack, including a few black pages, and walked quickly out through the large doors at the other end of the hall. He was starting to feel confident that he could turn the situation to his advantage, but then a sharp pain pierced his body as half his face was torn off by the claws of the mighty Nimbus. The creature lunged at him. Fenwick staggered back, half blinded. Then both fell over the side of the elevated path which connected the floating temples of the Cloud Kingdom. Together they fell into the clouds below. I was the head scribe of the Cloud Kingdom. I controlled people's destinies. Your kind took that away from me. I narrowly escaped, not unscathed as you see. I found this place and used the scrolls I brought with me to alter a key few people's destinies to bring them to me. Useful people who wouldn't be missed anywhere like this sad lot. He gestured to the pirates who squirmed at the sound of his words. I am the Wishmaster, and you wish you'd never come here. Much like most of the pitiful souls who had trekked up this mountain, I have been granting them what they think are wishes. But in fact, I've merely steered their destinies a bit, and now the rumors of their good fortune has brought you here. You will do what I ask of your own free will, and what I ask of you is a simple task. Climb to the summit. The storm will be passing soon. Use your airjitsu skills to venture to the Cloud Kingdom. You can do it. You did it before when Moro was inside of you. You will bring me that traitorous Nobu, and then I will have him undo the damage he did to my destiny. Then I will let you go, knowing that you did a good job for the future ruler of Ninjago. There is no danger in Cloud Kingdom. This will be a clinch for you, and maybe, if you bring me some fresh scrolls, I will do what you asked of me. Reconnect you with your father. Lloyd stared at Fenwick in disbelief, looked to the pirates, then Yana, then Clancy. He let out a spiteful laugh. You've got to be kidding me! There's no way I'll give you that kind of power! Fenwick smiled. You will come around and make the right choice. I have ways to make you. I have a friend who is eager to meet you. You'll like him. His name is Nimbus, and it's been a while since he has been let out to play.